Um, Good morning, everyone. And in this presentation, we will be presenting the curation of materials. And this would be our last presentation. Here we'll be going back and use ideas in the previous journals we've done, ranging from concrete to plastics, and find and present examples of how these materials or processes may have been applied in several examples.
Firstly, we have concrete, and a good example here would be its uses in the idea of brutalism, the architectural movement known as brutalism, which first applied in the middle of 20th century, stresses raw concrete constructions with imposing proportions and geometric shapes. Its significance stems from its distinctive design, approach, and impact on the field of architecture. Concrete is preferred because it's steady material and long lifespan, low cost, and transparent construction. The goal of brutalism is to create a usable and practical space that subvert conventions that places a strong emphasis on practicality and social purpose. Despite its controversy, brutalism left a lasting impression, inspiring later movements and cultivating a respect for its beauty and capacity to capture culture ideals.
So moving on would be masonry. Firstly, it is process commonly known for stacking and of building blocks, which is then bind together by specific material, which, if you remember, in the case of bricks, is cement mortar. However, in this example, we will be given the idea of plastic bottles, which is then used and stuck together, and it forms a structure or wall. Alongside this, its appearance and aesthetics also prove and show a different design, which may create a similar pattern and goal, similar to bricks masonry.
Moving on to metal, this example known as sculptural facade can also be applied with metal. The appearance of these structures vary and are very distinctive, able to give visual and expression, and visualization and expression. These, however, are most seen in sculpted with materials such as stone, glass, ceramic, which is but can be found also with metal due to metal being practical in sculpting as well as its elastic and moldable capacity, capability.
Moving on to wood, we have here is a carpentry known in Japan, found in Japan, and it is a method called as miyadaiku. What makes this unique and interesting is that common knowledge is that wood requires screws, glues, and various tools to bind and connect them together, which then creates structures. However, with this carpentry, these requirements are rather disregarded due to how the process requires and relies on wood joining. This would mean that we act and connect pieces together, which can be seen mostly in wooden prehabs and structures of Japan.
Building screens with biomimicry elements are designed to be both practical and aesthetically pleasing. Architects improve thermal performance, energy efficiency, and moisture management by modeling natural principles. For example, thermite molds serve as inspiration for designs that maximizes cooling through the use of air circulation and shade mechanisms. Other strategies include self-cleaning, surfaces modeled after lotus, and adaptive shading systems fashioned after leaf structures. These biometric designs combine creativity and sustainability by fusing natural forms with the surroundings while also providing utilitarian advantages. By drawing on the evolutionary knowledge of nature, they enable architects to design effective, durable, and environmental responses constructed in environments.
As we move on now to thermal and moisture protection, we now go to finishes. So What we have found something unique and different, which provides a unique illumination on walls, etc., are bioluminescent finishes in architecture, which entails embedding light-emitting organisms or even materials onto building surfaces. These finishes are new in the study, but it draws inspiration from nature and generate a gentle glow at night or in a low light settings by absorbing and storing light energy in a synthetic material. They improve aesthetics by giving diverse indoor and outdoor surfaces an ethereal appearance. A unique visual experience is produced by bioluminescent finishes, which modify the appearance of facades and produce a calming illumination in interior spaces. Even though the research is still early in its phases, it is still working in their longevity, sustainability, and viability in the architectural terms.
Second to the last, we have openings. In this case, we have what appears to be reversed or put in the opposite direction. The term upside down doors describes the idea of mounting a door on the ceiling rather than on a wall or floor. The notion is entirely speculative and not typical architecture practice. It was cited as a creative and unusual illustration of how to use windows and doors in a novel ways. In actuality, doors are often positioned as entry points into rooms or structures in vertical spaces like walls.
And lastly, for plastic, what we have found here revolves around the use of recycling plastic materials, and it is then related and used for architectural. Here we have recycled plastic waste, which is then used to make construction materials like recycled plastic bricks. They are made by crushing scrap plastic into large solid blocks such as bottles or containers and are formed like bricks. However, these bricks provide a greener option to conventional building materials by decreasing plastic pollution and fostering recycling initiatives. They can be used for a variety of architectural purposes such as walls, dividers, or even structural elements. Recycling plastic is then useful material as it demonstrated by bricks, which helps the construction sector adopt a more ecologically friendly philosophy. With all that being said, with these discoveries, we can say that there are a lot of unique uses in applying different things and ideas that may or may not be directly related to architecture, but still apply, no matter how the idea may be radical or weird it may seem, that for the common people, it may be too unusual. So, once again, thank you, everyone. And this is our last presentation. God bless.